We'll start with an invocation this evening.
Our God and Father, we are here to honor you. Lord, be with this council tonight. Bless this meeting. Give them wisdom and understanding, discernment. Lord, I pray that every decision would be wise. And Lord, I pray that you would be glorified and pleased. Make yourself known, make your power known. Lord, we pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any other changes to the agenda this evening? Motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Hash to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we'll have public comments. Anyone from the public who might wish to speak this evening, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have anyone here this evening for comments? Okay. And we'll move on then to proclamations, recognitions, and presentations. The Employee Service Awards. We have several of those this evening.
So we want to recognize Jody for being with the city for 10 years with the animal control. She does a great job for us. She's always make sure that the shelter is ready to go and make sure the safety and the care of the animals are always taken care of. So we really appreciate that and want to congratulate you on 10 years of service.
Thanks.
You want another one? As we pick this off.
Broke the camera on the first one.
You want another one? This is instead of all this on there.
I get the award.
Must have really broken.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, Jody. Oh, this is.
Bruno? Yeah, slide to the end, please. So tonight we're celebrating Bruno's 25 years of service. I don't want to miss anything, so I wrote a couple notes here. He spent a quarter of a century visibly impacting all facets of the community development in Concordia. He's prioritized safety and fairness and consistency throughout his tenure here. He has thrived on finding paths to yes for a variety of people and difficult conversations when the answer is no. He's survived 2 comprehensive plan updates and has achieved the letter of map revision for the city of Concordia, taking a lot of properties out of the floodplain and making things easier for people. Your work has made a difference, Bruno. We appreciate all the engagements and the discussions on different articles that you have. And we know that you're always game for a story about Alaska, so we appreciate you.
Great.
3 comprehensive plans. All right, so we're gonna hold
Uncalled for.
So we had a couple of other staff that couldn't be here tonight. Bill Brown, run me how many years he had?
10.
10 years with Bill, and 25 years for Jeff Roberts to our utilities department. And then I'm gonna go ahead and mention Stacy for achieving the goal as longest running city clerk in the history of the city of Concordia. She achieved that last September, so.
We appreciate your guys' service, Jody and Bruno, Stacy that are here. Just your dedication and commitment to the committee. We do really appreciate you guys. All right, next we'll move on then to the discussion agenda. This evening's discussion agenda item is the Community Activities Center.
Mayor and Commissioners, as you're aware, we did hold the vote on November 4th regarding a potential 1% sales tax that would have funded a large portion of the construction of the Community Activity Center maintenance and operation. That vote did fail, 386 yes votes to 611 no votes. I know that the canvass just occurred earlier this week. I didn't see the results from that, but assume it was same results. The numbers changed. Anybody heard actual results from that? No, okay. I did want to visit a little bit, and I put this in your memo about some different things that we did. So city staff, there was a vote yes committee that was able to promote things, and they did an excellent job trying to get the word out and helping people understand what the project was and how the community would benefit. From a city's perspective, we couldn't participate in a vote yes or a vote no campaign, but we could put out just factual information. And that's what we intended to do in the weeks leading up to the vote. We put information out on our website as well as our Facebook page, in addition to answering text, emails, and just phone conversations and informal conversations around the community. As a result of listening to what our community said, the proponents there talked about some positive aspects of the project, and I listed those here in the memo. They talked about the walking track being open to the public, the indoor pickleball courts, additional gym space for recreation and travel ball teams. They talked about the ability to host youth tournaments, the indoor tot lot for very young children, promoting the activity center as a gathering space for social interaction, potential additional location for a farmer's market, potential for satellite library and other similar type programming, and that it was within walking distance of the elementary and middle school. Those were all spoken as positives of the project. The opponents were not supportive of raising taxes, whether it was sales or property. We did learn that there was still some confusion among our residents about the difference between property and sales tax. And so we know we've got some education there to do with folks. The opponents did not like that the gyms were not fully HISHA compliant. Recall that the courts would have been HISHA compliant, but there was not sufficient seating and the floor surface was not compliant. There was opposition because there was not an indoor pool included as part of the scope of the project, and that the fee structure for the operation of the facility was not decided before the vote. We had heard that partway through the campaign. Remember, we had brought that to you, and it was a very quick bring to you in the middle, and we weren't quite prepared to make a full decision, but we had given a consensus of what we thought may occur, but wanted to wait to see if the project was going to go before we made a final decision. Opponents also voiced their concern that they were unable to vote because they lived outside of the city limits, which also told us that there were people that may have supported it, but because of the geographic boundaries of your authority as commissioners, we weren't allowed to do that. So for sales tax, you only have budget and policy authority over those within the city limits, which applies to sales tax as well. So if we can do a citywide sales tax and those inside the city limits can vote, or a countywide sales tax, the county commissioners could put forth to the voters, and the voters of the county would be able to vote on that. But there's not really any in between. There was also vocalization that the city should prioritize other infrastructure maintenance needs. We assume that it's talking about our streets and water and sewer and other park facilities, and that the schools also needed to be updated first. So those are the things that we had heard. Wanted to open it up for discussion tonight. What staff needs is direction now. What now? So if you'll recall, we had received a $50,000 grant from the Community Foundation to help seed this project. If you want us to try again, we can hang on to that money and we can try again and figure out a different path that may be more successful for us. If your answer is we don't need to take the lead anymore, perhaps we need to let another agency take the lead, and if they want our support, then they can come make a proposal, we can visit at that time. That's okay too. If that's the direction that we take, we would need to return that $50,000 to the Community Foundation. So we'd open up for discussion tonight and would appreciate your direction on how to move forward or what our next step is.
So I think, I've heard once that if you wanna work towards a goal, you should set it, at a lot shorter time scale than you think it is. If you have a 10-year goal, you should try to accomplish it in 6 months. The benefit of that is you probably won't accomplish it in 6 months, but you'll get a lot more done within that 6 months than you would if you set it as a 10-year goal. I think that the efforts that were put forth last year really got us a lot closer to being able to do this than we ever would have before. And I think that speaks really well to how much was put into it. I don't think that we were ready to have as functional of a facility as we would have liked to gain more support. I think it's a strong place to start from. I don't know at this point how ready we are to move forward. Some of the things in the opposition list, we have not supportive of raising taxes and that there's not an indoor pool. Those are very, those are not going to ever exist in the same space. An indoor pool is going to cost a significant amount of money that would then require more taxes. I think I would think that the best thing that we could do, if the money is, if that's a practical issue, would be to send that money back to the foundation so that they hold on to that, knowing that we can continue to be an active partner in figuring out our next steps, that we're still a part of that conversation. But if this is something that would get in the way of that we could take care of that, just to have that done and maintain the conversation. I did hear a lot, and I heard a lot from a lot of folks across the board that they really believe in this and they want to see it, but the way in which it came about, in terms of being able to find a greater collaboration with the college, with the high school or school district, is something that they do want to see move forward. And so I think there's opportunity there. I also think that we probably need to look at gaining greater commitment from some of our private donations. A lot of this was being built on the tax support, which I understand, but I think people want to see that there are private donors in our community that are willing to commit their dollars towards this. I think that decreases the specter of it all falling on taxpayers. So I think that that's something that the Community Foundation and others could work towards building, is that list of private donors. And I think that we should keep moving forward with it. I just don't know, practically speaking, if it's an active, how active that is at this very point in time, or do we kind of see how some other things are moving forward? I know in conversations that I have with certain school board members that there is a very strong recognition on their board of the need for facilities improvement. And so I think when we talked a few years ago about combining these projects, there was some benefit to that. It needed to be fleshed out more, and that's kind of where the conversation stopped. So I think that there's an opportunity for increased conversations with that, which could really shape how this the community activity centers move forward. So those are my thoughts with what you shared so far.
As myself, I've heard a lot of similar comments from people, especially with people having the desired collaboration to have something bigger and greater, to include school district facilities, improvements, and the college, and potentially, the county and county residents, and their contribution as well with the people that are outside city limits who weren't able to vote. There was some discouragement with that, but obviously it made sense based on it. We did rush the process because of the potential for the $2.5 million grant that didn't end up necessarily being to our benefit. And then having that already kind of timeline there for us probably was not beneficial. I agree that, and looking to the future, there is still a lot of positive support for it. The tax confusion was an issue. I don't know that you can completely ever get to the level of educating every citizen on all the differences and the percentages and the levies and all of the things, but I'm supportive of taking a step back in that if, the community activity center group that was working together wants to come up with another plan, or the school and the college and the city would like to collaborate and work together to look at what that might look like.
I think it'd be interesting to visit with people who were very opposed to the project to see what actually they would like that would make them positive. I mean, you know, you see, particularly on Facebook, the same people are negative all the time, basically about everything. But, you know, talking directly to them to find out.
So I real, if we look at the number of voters that were for and against it, I would imagine that the people that are for it would vote for it again.
Right.
And I would wonder if half of the people that voted against it won't vote against it no matter what. So I wonder about that other 300 in the middle that might be able to, well, if it meant this, or if we could do this, then maybe. Because I think that there are people that did like the idea of it, but didn't necessarily think that the way, I mean, and not the way that it came about, I think that, say that, but they just weren't ready to commit to that, but do believe and would support that to a degree. I'll also be real interested to see if the people that say that they are interested in investing in other parts of our community actually support those investments when they're called to. Right, because I hope that we can count on those people to put their support behind the school bond project when it comes time that we need that. I'm not sure that that'll be the case, but it was an easy out for them there.
You mentioned the tax confusion, and I think that was a significant issue with this. I mean, I still hear people say, well, just wait until they put that new hospital on our taxes. You know, that is not gonna happen. And I don't know what it will take to get beyond that confusion.
So Christy, one of my favorite quotes is that it is impossible to teach somebody something they think they already know.
Sure.
And I don't know that there's any level of education that would be successful.
Could be, but those are the loud voices.
Or knowing that it was actually only going to last 10 years. That's all it could last. But that's what they told us about the college. Wasn't going to be on the tax rolls.
I heard that comment as well, with some opposition. Okay, so.
I really do appreciate the effort. I think it's a lot to go out there, Brenda and the team that went to support this, Chris, Amy, certainly your efforts, but I mean, I think it takes a lot, I think, to try to push a project forward. I think that there's still a lot of opportunity. I think it got voted down this time, but I don't think it has to be it. I really do believe in the value of this project in some shape or form. And think that there was a lot that was accomplished in the push to make this happen that can be built on and used moving forward.
I also thank you, Brenda, for all the hard work that you put in into just coming up with the plan and getting the grant to be able to even have a plan in the first place. That those things are still valuable. Again, that a lot of effort went into that. A lot of people do care to have that opportunity and some, you know, an avenue for something different for people to do to stay healthy in our community. And so hopefully that can be figured out and in a way that we can get a consensus of positivity and move forward with it. But just have to see what that looks like. You guys continue to, you know, bring something to us again, and we'll see see what we can do.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll move to the action agenda minutes of the November 5th, 2025 meeting.
I move to approve the minutes of the November 5th, 2025 meeting.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Lamberts to approve the minutes of the November 5th, 2025 meeting. Any further discussion? The only thing, Commissioner Wentz's comment, I think
Yeah.
at the bottom, it was supposed to, I think it was the sidewalk near the Cloud Court, not the
And
Legion.
Legion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was- I think it had come
It
up
was
in
a
that.
sidewalk like the Legion.
Right,
Yeah.
that
Okay.
was, that's the confusion.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Hi.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Appropriation ordinance number 21.
I move to approve appropriation ordinance number
Second,
21.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Wentz to approve appropriation ordinance number 21. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have the audit engagement letter.
This is for our auditors that we've had in the past, Jared Gilmore and Phillips, to continue services for our 2025 audit next year. You will see that the price did go up to 14,000, but we have not historically paid the full price yet, and it was 13,000 before, and we did not pay that. So I would imagine we'll pay somewhere around 13,000 this next year, but just largely based on having everything prepared when they come, and we should be set to do that again, and we've been happy with them. And also noted in there, if we needed another audit, a separate audit for federal funds, we'd bring you another agreement, but I don't think we will.
I move to authorize the mayor to sign the audit engagement letter with Jared Gilmore and Phillips for the year ending December 31st, 2025, in the amount of $14,000.
Second,
A motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Hash to authorize the mayor to sign the audit engagement letter with Jared Gilmore and Phillips. Any further discussions? They've done an excellent job, and we do appreciate you doing all the work that you do ahead of time to keep that price lower for us. And their presentation, I always feel like is very good, very easy to understand, even if you're not an auditor yourself. All in favor?
I,
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Resolution 2025-2213, the employee handbook.
this is an annual item, bring to you every November or December. And so staff has gone over this and come up with a few minor changes, mostly minor. And so I'll go over those, definitions. Good standing is what we have within the handbook that states if someone is in good, has good standing and leaves, they will get their leave time paid out. But good standing was never really defined. And so we added that. And then rolling method on FMLA. It's not really easy to understand unless you look it up what that means. But anyway, it defines that there, rolling method. If I came today and want FMLA, it's going to look back on the last 12 months to see how much time I have used. And will show how much I can have going forward. On 6.4, we just put in personal leave is not paid out. There was nowhere in the handbook that stated that before, so it's a use it or lose it thing. So it doesn't carry over, and it is not paid out upon resignation. On 6.8, we crossed out certified status because certified status means you've been there 6 months and have received a favorable evaluation. That's not part of the rules for FMLA. You just have to work for at least 12 months and 1,250 hours. So anyone who's worked that time, whether they have any leave time or not, is allowed to use it. And then on 6.12, we decided to add that in because occasionally we have had a newer employee that had no leave time, and they did need to take off for something somewhat major, and example, a birth of a child, their
they're off with no pay, and according to our handbook, if you're off with no pay, your benefits end, unless you're on FMLA, but nothing about ADA or birth of a child that I could find that we had to continue those benefits. We just decided that covering someone for the following month after normally they would have been terminated would be goodwill on our part, which might keep them wanting to stay employed and be able to afford to come back. And then under 7.2 on group health insurance, we crossed off certified because again, employees can start health benefits with a 60-day waiting period, and certified employees do not achieve that status until at least 6 months. So that really didn't play in at all. And just added that 2% fee. That's something that we're allowed to charge, and I do charge that. And then last but not least, 7.11, reasonable accommodation for disability. I took a webinar, and they stated that it would be very, very beneficial for you to have this in your employee handbook. And they gave some ideas, and I found some ideas online on how to word everything there. Right now, we don't have really much at all in our handbook about disability. And so this kind of tells how we can handle it. And that's pretty much it. Any questions?
Stacey, I did have one. In the definitions for good standing, in the second line, it's mentioned management for gross misconduct as stated. And then in the last sentence, it says avoiding serious misconduct. Should serious be changed to gross so that it maintains a similar level of definition, or do we need to provide some other definition for serious misconduct?
No, that makes sense.
So I'd love to be the person arguing, well, it was serious misconduct, but it was not gross misconduct. So everything else makes a lot of sense.
I move to approve resolution 2025-2213.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Lamberts to approve resolution 2025-2213. Do you have any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have resolution 2025-2214, open records policy.
This was brought about because of changes to the Kansas legislation on open records, and they're trying to get it to where basically someone can request something almost free of charge. I think they've come across some things where some exorbitant fees were charged, and they want to avoid that. So going off of the league's recommendation, I made changes. It looks kind of like a mess, but comparing both of them together, the only new parts are adding the police chief, fire chief, or the municipal court clerk to be allowed to be a record custodian under certain requests that are sensitive. And then working with someone to make sure that the fee is affordable. And if not, then to figure out a way to make it that way. And remove the fee for per charge for each page. And really, I don't get I get very few requests where I have to make copies anyway. Almost everything now, including medical records, is sent through email. So I rarely have to do that. And then they also want you to charge your lowest paid employee their hourly fee. And so if it's something that person can put together, then that's the fee that will be charged. But when it's a little bit more sensitive, I still do it. So those are really the only things that changed, but it just was, everything was moved around a little bit, so it looks like everything changed, but it really didn't.
move to approve resolution 2025-2214.
We have a motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Hutchison to approve resolution 2025-2214. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have ordinance 2025-3240, repealing the open records.
This just goes along with that. There's just a very small amount of mention of open records in our code. And what it does mention is the per page fee. And so it didn't seem to make sense to have anything in the code if we were gonna have this commission policy, so. Regardless, we would have to take out that per page fee if that's all we did, but would just recommend that this just be repealed.
I move to approve ordinance 2025-3240.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Wentz to approve ordinance 2025-3240, repealing open records. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay. Quotes for replacement floor covering at the police department.
So before I started, they did a lot of remodeling outside and it looks great. The only project we have left is the carpet in the police department, which was put in there in 1999. And I was actually one of the officers that one of the first officers got to actually be there in 1999 to enjoy that carpet. But since then, it's really showed its wear and tear and it needs replaced. And so I went out for a couple quotes and the two companies that quoted it was Legacy Finishes, which was the old Square One. They changed their name to Legacy Finishes, and then wall-to-wall carpet and interior here, both of them in Concordia. The lowest quote came in, they were really close, as you can see. There's two different ones on Legacy, if they're gonna move the furniture or if we're gonna move it. My thoughts is we can move our furniture from side to side to get the carpet put in. But the lowest bid came in wall-to-wall interior, $16,131.38. And that's with us moving the furniture. I recommend that we go with wall-to-wall interior for the amount of $16,131.38. And then I was asking for a 10% overage because they said if the carpet's hard to pull up, they might have to charge a little bit more to rent a machine to get the carpet up, because it's glued in there. So, and then that would be close to, about $1,600 with the 10% overage.
So my question then, did Legacy say the same thing, or would that include them?
They didn't say anything about the carpet. The only one that said anything about was wall to wall. But they both came and looked at it. And I know Legacy did the city hall here. They didn't mention anything about any overages or anything like that. The only one it did was wall to wall. And if that does, then that puts them over the bid. So it's a tight bid. So I'm asking, leaning on you guys, whatever direction you want to go. So I think they're both reputable companies in Concordia. And I think they both do a great job.
I guess I had questions just, because I know it said Mohawk, I think, was maybe one of the carpet types, but just for the life of the carpet, the number of years, are they comparable between the two companies? And then like quality difference of the carpet? I know they're commercial squares.
Yeah, from what I'm understanding, they're both quality. I've never heard of what was the other one?
Is it Cobalt? Cool.
Yeah, I've never heard of that carpet, so I'm only going off of their recommendations. So I've heard of Mohawk, but I've not heard of Cobalt.
Well, that makes it a harder decision.
I know,
Well, it looks to me like Legacy has $1,000 in their contract to prep the floor.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
They already have some built.
will determine on condition of subflooring.
Yeah.
Tear out floor prep and installation. So they,
Yeah, I think they put in there the normal tear out prep.
They're just afraid that
that it
glue
might
is
exceed
not
them.
out.
Yeah,
And they probably won't.
these are so close that,
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed, maybe this helps. On legacies, it says subcontract prep pricing may change, will be determined on condition of the subfloors.
yeah,
yeah.
and they did, and Legacy did not write that in their contract, or their quote.
I'm gonna go with the best quality carpet out of the two, because the difference is not very much, but
Yeah.
we don't know that that's certain to decide. Then we have to probably default to the lowest bid based on the information that we're presented.
Yeah,
Again, which could be the other.
I know I don't know much about carpets, so I'm just only going off what they're telling me, so.
Well, the other thing, do you guys get to keep, I know, they're squares. Did they order the extra or do you guys keep extra? Because if that company goes out of business or they quit making that square, then you can't just replace it with a
Yeah,
different.
so a little side note, Wall to Wall did our remodel and dispatch, and they're the ones that did the carpet as well. And we have a box of squares left over that if one goes bad, we can peel it up and put it back down.
So that's part of this as well, to have some left.
Yeah,
leftover.
I'm assuming that they ordered an extra that. I don't know how close they are in their measurements. I would assume that they would have leftovers.
I think I can answer a question for you real quick here. AI is helping me. Walk the Walk Cobalt Carpet is actually a Mohawk carpet brand as well. And so they're both Mohawk products. Walk the Walk Cobalt is, I am guessing maybe the color of it, I don't know. But it does say on the other hand, Walk the Walk Cobalt Carpet from Mohawk Carpet is praised for its durability and ease of maintenance, making it a strong contender in the market.
Wonderful.
He didn't.
It's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
Yes, but they're both Mohawk brands. That was what
Okay,
we were,
yeah, no.
we were concerned about the quality.
I don't know that I've ever had a quote this tight and pricing before, so I was really impressed with how close they were on each other.
You said, now Legacy Finishes is the one that supported or provided the work here at City Hall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Wall to Wall ended up getting this room, but when we did the remodel in the rest of City Hall, earlier last January, Legacy of Square One did the rest of it. Just did a good job. Then you said,
And then Wall to Wall got the dispatch room when we remodeled it. So.
but definitely, you're both great companies. We can't go wrong with either one.
These are both, local, what's the mileage charge about? I mean, that's legacy, but there's a $400 mileage, $440 mileage charge.
They're installers, sometimes coming from out of town.
Okay,
Yeah.
we don't have to pay for mileage then for the other one?
They didn't put a mileage charge for
Yeah.
40. Yeah,
They're
And
probably
then-
just making it-
wall to walls, no mileage charge on it. And I have no idea who their installers are. Wall to Wall used to be, Garrett Hake, but I know he's been off for a while because of a baby, so.
I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion. Okay. I move to accept the bid from Wall to Wall Carpet Interior in the amount of $16,131.38 plus 10% contingency to be paid from CIP.
Second,
A motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Hash to accept the bid from Wall to Wall Carpet Interior. Have any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Resolution 2025-2215 naming rights policy.
Well, Commissioners, last meeting, we talked to proposed naming rights recognition opportunities policy with you in detail. Since that time, there's been no questions or suggestions for changes, so we bring that back to you the same as what it was. When we adopt a policy, we adopt a resolution to adopt the policy, so we're asking for approval for both of those at the same time.
Move to approve resolution 2025-2215.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Lamberts to approve the resolution 2025-2215. Have any further discussions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. And next we have the appointment of municipal court judge.
Mayor and Commissioners, Judge Scott Condrey tendered his retirement effective at the end of this year. So we did publish and advertise for all the practicing attorneys in town and plus some retired judges in the area to send in their letters of interest so we can continue municipal court in 2026. We did receive an application from Judge Steyer, and he's here tonight if you have any questions for him, but we'd like to recommend his approval. We formed a committee, reviewed his resume, letter, very, very strong. I think he'll do a great job for us, and we're excited to have him on board as part of our meeting.
How often does municipal court meet?
Once a month.
Once a month.
If you're here anyway, if you don't mind, come and introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about yourself. Come on.
Not sure what's in the papers.
Shouldn't your story check out all the same, Judge?
It's the contract.
You want some background or what would you like?
Yeah, just introduce yourself and just a little bit of background.
Okay. So I was born in Belleville, grew up on a farm in Washington County, went to school at Washburn University, then went to law school there. Worked a couple of years for a court of appeals judge doing research. Came out to Beloit. I was practiced there for about 21 years, was asked to apply for the magistrate judge position here over 20 years ago. Was appointed for that, served roughly 20 years of that. I stepped down and this opportunity approached. I visited with Judge Condrey about it sometime. I knew he was retiring and had relocated. I said, if you don't wish to do it anymore, I'm welcome to do that. And I don't know what else I can say other than.
That's great. We do appreciate it.
Yeah.
When I read in the packet, I was really looking forward to, glad to see this recommendation. So I'm glad to see it here.
Thank you, Chad.
I would move to approve the appointment of Guy R. Steyer to municipal court judge and authorize the mayor to sign the contract.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Wentz to appoint Guy Eyster to municipal court judge. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thanks for being here tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We'll get the contract final and give you a call and send the rest of it.
All right.
See.
See you soon. Yeah, see you. Next year.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I don't know if it was gonna be mentioned, I think Judge Condrey's last day is
His last.
December the 1st. Well, his last day is the end of December, but because there's always paperwork that you might do later in the month, but I think you're gonna have a reception or something. I don't know if that's in your.
It's not
comments
in the
later.
packet, but
You're welcome.
yeah. We do intend to have a public retirement reception for Judge Condrey on the 1st, and it'll be starting at 3 o'clock that afternoon, and will conclude before court begins at 4. So welcome to attend.
Next, we have resolution 2025-2216 classified and non-classified pay scales.
This is to implement the 3% cost of living increase that was discussed during budget session time, based on the consumer price index from 2024. That's what we've used in the past, and we haven't had any significant changes since then, so we'd still recommend that. I move to approve resolution 2025-2216.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Hash to approve resolution 2025-2216. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, next, we have the manager's report.
Mayor and Commissioners had kind of an exciting week this last week. The mayor from Utah, Finland came to visit, and the reason she was here is because her daughter is playing basketball at Cloud, so she got to spend a few days here, tour the area and spend some time with her daughter. So we got to visit because their town is about 5,000 people, so right about the same as ours. So it was a lot of good shop talk about taxing structure and different scope of services and that sort of thing. So it was really, really interesting visit, and glad that she got to come over and see and experience this. We went and toured the Brown Christmas. We did a lot of our parks and things, and she was very impressed. So one of the major differences, we talked about the history of our town, and we recently celebrated our sesquicentennial here. And their town has been in existence since about 1347. So that was one of the major differences. So the 1300s is when they were founded. We were recently made aware of, just the last couple of days, that the county commission will be proposing some changes to the neighborhood revitalization program. So be watching for an advertisement that shows the updates to that document, as well as a public hearing that will be scheduled fairly soon. They will be asking for our participation. We don't know yet in what format that is, or who will be presenting those changes at this point in time, but we do plan to go to the public hearing. Talked with Tim a little bit earlier today. And so we'll make sure that we visit and get the information and attend the public hearing to hear what the proposals are. But that the current neighborhood revitalization program expires at the end of this month. So we expect that it could be a fairly quick turnaround. We only have 2 more city commission meetings before the end of the month. So just a heads up on that. Also City Hall will be closed November 27th and 28th in observance of Thanksgiving, but our staff will still be on call, and fire and EMS will still be full staff those times. Any questions?
And staff reports.
Well, update on the status of US 81. We got 1 lane tore out. They're gonna do a soil compaction test tomorrow, see where that falls, and then pretty soon they'll be rebarring and reinstalling us.
There was an accident there. At the
First
beginning of
day
the
on the
construction.
north side, there was one accident.
What was the cause of the accident? Did we have it identified that there was construction coming up timely enough for people, and then did that change after the fact, or?
So what the driver said, there was a SUV and a semi behind it. The SUV seen the 20-mile-an-hour sign. It went from 55 to 20, and he slammed on his brakes, and the semi hit the rear end of him. I mean, the semi didn't allow reaction time to slow down, but it was the SUV's fault because he was going and then went from 55 to 20, just like that, slammed on his brakes.
But we identified the construction
Yes.
timely enough that
Yes.
people were aware of
Yes.
it. That's fine.
So I just let you know, Shane, all the snowflakes and garlands up, right? All that's done.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, and today we got the tree up, plaza, and the Santa mailbox for the letters. All that done for next week's hometown holiday, which is next Friday, so. Things are brightening up down there for the plaza. Also tomorrow at 11, the Lions Club is doing another tree planting ceremony. They're putting 3 of them at Hood Park. And then 2 of them at the ball field, but their ceremony will be at Hood Park itself tomorrow morning at 11. If you're out and about, want to come by, so. We always appreciate the Lions Club's efforts and playing all around Concordia, especially in our parks and everywhere, so.
How many have they planned? No.
Total, I don't have a number on that. I can ask them tomorrow, but, been going on a lot of years,
Yeah.
so. A lot of different places, so.
Thank you. Any other staff reports?
I wanted to announce that I tendered my resignation as of January 16th. I will be retiring.
So you're gonna submit your resignation on January 16th?
No, I've already done it and I will leave January. Let me reword that.
Congratulations on your upcoming retirement.
Well,
Commissioner reports. I was looking up something on our website today and I noticed on the city website. That our picture still is from some years ago and Commissioner Hash is not included in that. And so I think maybe before we leave this evening, if we could take a quick photo. I know we had done individual headshots, but that never got put on the website, so.
I think they're just at two different places.
Are they? Okay. Well, the years of service and when everybody expires still has Regina and it's a picture of us from then.
let's make sure that that's accurate before we.
I just saw it today.
I think it's worth double checking.
It's today. I'm sure.
Let's look into this.
Okay, well, anyway. If
You want to-
that a picture is necessary,
I
perhaps we
even
should do
took
that.
gel in my
before we
hair. I
leave.
try to look a little more presentable than I do. I've got my nails done recently. It's a mess.
And we could do it next meeting if Chuck needs more. Commissioner Lambert needs more time to prepare for the photo.
Room.
I knew.
I wanted to mention that I had the pleasure of attending the Brown Grand Players performance last weekend, and it was delightful. It's a beautiful theater, as I'm sure you all know and appreciate. And I have a lot of admiration for the people. They had a good crowd. It wasn't all old people, which that would be me. But anyway, it was delightful, and I really feel that we need to support the Brown Grand and the Brown Grand players. It's a real asset to our community.
Other than to congratulate Bruno for all his hard work.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely do. All right, and next we have executive sessions, so. Have you make a motion here?
Move that the city commission recess into executive session to discuss confidential business data or trade secrets of a business KSA 754319B4 with Amy Lang, Justin Farrell, Tim Bynes, Brad DeBush, Tracy DeBush in attendance. To reconvene in the city commission chamber, 6:33 p.m.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hudson, second by Commissioner Wentz. Do you have any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. No action was taken.
I would make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign and development agreement for lot 10, block B in St. Joseph subdivision.
Second?
We have a motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Hash. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next executive session for non-elected personnel.
I would move that the city commission recess into executive session to discuss employment personnel issues pursuant to the non-elected personnel matter exception, KSA 754319B1. Solely with the city commission in attendance and to reconvene in the city commission chamber. Under what? 15 minutes, 5 minutes. At 6:55 p.m.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Wentz. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Let's take it.
No action was taken.
I would, make the same motion that I made before, just an executive session. To return to Commission Chamber at 7:05 p.m.
A motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Hutchison. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
It was 75.
That's what we wanted. That was perfect temperature.
Open the door. It's so cool there.
You turned on the heat.
Air conditioning.
It felt a little chilly in here.
Okay, no action was taken. Can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Hatch to adjourn the meeting. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, we can leave the land, yeah.
Yes, land bank, yep. Sorry.
Thank you.
I blew it off. There's a lot of stuff going on. How's your go? Okay, all right, so the meeting's adjourned. And then we'll call to order the land bank meeting. Beginning with public comments. Nobody online, right? Okay, so seeing none, we'll move on to new business, the sale of real estate, 804 Sunflower Circle, Lot 2, Block A, St. Joseph subdivision.
Okay, so, wrote one memo to cover all of the sale of real estate. If you'll recall, a couple meetings ago, we approved development agreements for Lot 2 and Lot 3 on Block A of the St. Joseph subdivision. Those are custom built lots on the south side of Sunflower Drive. So with the action to sell, the action for the Land Bank Board of Directors to sell those tonight would be to close that communication loop and would allow us to record those deeds under the ownership of the families that we passed the development agreements with, so the Teals and the Omens. Then the third lot 10, Block B, has to do with the development agreement that we just approved this evening in the earlier commission meeting. Again, this would close the communication loop and allow us to formalize that transaction and record that deed for the Devaches. So we would ask for your approval of the sale of each one of those properties. Independent motions are requested for those. And then once those are done, we'll have you sign those deeds and then we'll be able to record those later this week.
I'm going to approve the sale of property located at 804 Sunflower Circle, Lot 2, Block A, St. Joseph subdivision for the deed.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Hutchison to approve the sale of property at 804 Sunflower Circle. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
I'm going to approve the sale of property located at 806 Sunflower Circle, Lot 3, Block A, St. Joseph subdivision for the deed.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Wentz to approve the sale of property located at 806 Sunflower Circle. Any further discussion there? All in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
I move to approve the sale of property located at 1104 St. Joseph Circle, Lot 10, Block B, St. Joseph subdivision for the deed.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Hash to approve the sale of property located at 1104 St. Joseph Circle. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
We adjourn.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Wentz to adjourn. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.